And it's our last week on this show. Ricky Gervais has been on it almost as often as we have, I'm delighted to say. He's one of our great traditions and he's back tonight. In fact, Ricky is now becoming a major Hollywood movie star. His ascent just goes on and on and up and up.
She said with surprise in her voice.
And we knew him as such a lowly person at first.
I'm sorry, Ricky. And it's your last visit as well.
Why are you sorry? This happens every time. Well, I mean, it's no surprise to me. I don't know why I come on here. Last time I was on with Emmy, you were saying that looks a bit cheap.
He was.
Oh, because everyone comes on here with an Emmy. Oh, you've had loads of people who've won Emmys on this show.
But it was cheap. It's tinny.
Well, look, let me get to the movie.
Like a fairground ornament. Go on.
Ricky has this new movie. It's called Ghost Town. It's being released this autumn. And in it, Ricky plays the lead, a grumpy dentist who dies on the operating table for
now we're talking.
a few minutes. And when he's revived, he finds he can see ghosts.
My 5-year-old Alex.
No talking. It's better.
Stop global warming?
Ah, good. Thank you.
Excuse me, that's my cat. Can you hold the elevator, please?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Wait, hold, hey.
You still don't believe...
Sorry, you babbling idiot. Can we talk about my bowels?
Is this your first colonoscopy?
Gross invasion of my privacy, this.
Wait till they get you in the back.
When your soapbox unfolds...
Come back soon.
What a terrible thing to say in a hospital.
Hey, you got a sec? Real quick, gotta hit you up for a favor.
I don't feel well. Did anything unusual happen during my procedure?
You died.
I died.
A little bit.
For how long?
7 minutes.
A bit less.
I died for 7 minutes.
A bit less.
Everybody dies.
I was dead. And then when they brought me back, I can...
The dead have a lot of unfinished business, which is why we're still here. Everybody needs something done, and you're the only person who can see or hear us.
It's my daughter. She
Back off, Marjorie. I found him first.
Is this a bad time?
Ricky's here now.
That's not Steve Merchant, by the way.
Yeah, a little Belvin off there.
We were going to use him, but he
wasn't quite
It
up to
looks
the...
really funny.
he had a very small part. No.
Did you, your dentist character, Bertram, he then has to, does he kind of have to carry out all these various functions?
Well, they want something from me, and I have to do a deal that I can get rid of him if I help this guy, Frank, the main ghost, played by Greg Kinnear.
The guy you walked through on the pavement?
Yeah, exactly. He wants me to do something for him, and I have to do that to get rid of these ghosts.
Right.
So,
You mean he'll get rid of the ghosts for you if you do this for him?
Exactly.
Ah, right, a bit like Beetlejuice.
But there's lots of twists. It's a bit of a stitch-up, and I can't tell.
But it's romantic as well, isn't it? You have a love story.
Don't say that like it's a surprise as well. I mean,
She has had a note of surprise in her voice since the programme started.
It's a romantic comedy. He said to me before the show, he said, I've seen the film, it's good. Like...
Well, it might not have
Yeah,
been.
exactly. Like, you would have lied, but you don't need to now.
Great.
It's great.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a really old-fashioned film. I think it's like a 40s or 50s film, and it's a romantic comedy and I say a high-concept thing, but it's a really good story, which I think is the most important thing in a film.
So you play this dentist, so, I mean, is that kind of an amalgam of characters?
Wow.
Sorry.
But again, you don't need to apologise.
No,
you know, you've got this far on the talent you've been given, so, do you know what I mean? You're laughing. Well done.
Thank you.
OK.
All right. Amalgam of characters. Anyway, so, no, go on. So, did he base it on anyone you know, or...?
No, it's, he's a very sort of misanthropic, just awful loner. And he doesn't want to know anyone, he's grumpy. It's very sort of, in that vein...
life.
It's very much like... It reminded me of that. But he's one of those people that, you know, laughs in the face of adversity but doesn't get him anywhere. He's a very sort of Woody Allen or... you know, one of those sort of Tony Hancock type things where, you know, he thinks he's surrounded by idiots, and he might be, but it doesn't get you anywhere in life, just pointing out people's
negativity.
fault. Exactly.
Yeah. And you shot it in New York, and you fell in love with New York, didn't you?
Well, we shot in the Upper East Side, and we loved it so much, we bought a place there last week.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Very Victor Kyle.
I felt like Michael Jackson, just going around going, I'll have that one.
3 of those.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That's the only similarity between me and Michael Jackson. Now, listen.
You're quite sure about that?
Yeah.
Was it quite...
Go on.
Last year,
this is probably a bit rude, but was it quite I mean, was it quite sort of easy to get one because of the credit crunch? I mean...
Oh, I tell you what, with $1, Oh, amazing. It's half price. Let's go.
Everything must go.
Yeah, British people go to New York and buy a house at half price.
What about we
Of course,
were
it's
on
terrible if you're an American.
Yeah, shocking. Yes, no, we have to think of our American cousins.
Yeah.
For a moment. Anyway, just going back to the filming process. We were on a film set on Saturday. We were filming a really big promotion for the next thing that we're going to be doing with a proper film crew and stuff. But what we realised was there's a hell of a lot of hanging around, which isn't quite true of television. Did you find that filming?
Absolutely. I mean,
the trailer?
The worst thing for me is not being in charge. And so for the first couple of weeks, I was, in the Winnebago, just tearing my hair out. But then I got, really involved with it, and it was very collaborative. So, and I also knew I was directing a film, so I was, sort of making notes. But yeah, there can be a lot of hanging around. The reason I can't do your last show is that I'm flying to do the sequel of Night at the Museum.
Right.
And it's funny because they wanted me to go out twice, and I went, I can only come once, and because I know they'll be hanging around. If they get you there for 2 weeks, you're still filmed for that. So I said I can only do 2 days, and they went, we can't do it in 2 days because we have to change the set. I said, well, that's it. So I'm working Friday and Monday and making everyone work over the weekend.
Nice man.
Do you know what I mean? Again, this doesn't go out in America. The crew don't know that.
Well, listen,
it was Steven Spielberg's company who produced this new one, isn't it, Ghost Town?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And you met him.
I've met him a couple of times. He came to the set, and then we had a screening in the Hamptons with him and Alan Alda, who's a hero of mine. It was great, and it was a really good experience. Because I say it's the first lead, but it's also the first time I haven't sort of been in charge, and it was worrying, but looking back, it was just great.
Well, it comes out in October, doesn't it? We'll give a proper date in.
It comes out the 19th in the US, and then the 24th of October here.
Well, look, sit tight, because you mentioned a flight you're making at the weekend. We actually have something pertaining to you in the air, which is actually real. When we come back. Hi, welcome back. Now, there's air turbulence, which I think probably all experienced, and there's air turbulence on a private plane, which seems a bit worse, doesn't it? Because the fuselage is smaller.
Well, it's exactly. So if it's bumpy, you feel it on a 747, a bit of turbulence, you do that.
You swing. Yeah.
On a private jet, it hits you.
So who were you with on this occasion where you had your mobile phone camera on?
I was flying from when I was directing the film This Side of the Truth. They gave me a private jet, so I could sort of nip to New York and stuff weekends. And at first I thought, well, I'll never use that. And then, I did it once. I used it like 10 times. It's unbelievable. There's no queues. It's weird being the only person on a plane. It's even weirder being the only person in an airport. You turn up and they go, a couple of pilots, they're going, ready? It's just great. It just cuts out queuing.
Well, who was with you on this?
Louis C.K. Because he was in the
comedian.
film, yeah. And he lives in New York, and he said, "Oh, can I get a lift?" And I went, "Yeah, come along." And as we got on the plane, they said, "It's going to be turbulent." And I went, "Okay." And I'm glad they warned me. But Louis, I was scared, but as soon as someone else was more scared than me, I was loving it, and I just started filming him.
Well, we've had to trim this down a bit because there's a lot of bleeps and.
He was so scared.
Yeah.
He sort of developed this. He was swearing to make himself feel better. It was ludicrous, but I was cracking up at the fear.
And we might even get a glimpse of what was causing the turbulence actually in this. Let's have a look.
It's very turbulent. We were warned, but I'm scared, right? But because Louis is more scared than me, I'm going to burst. It's such a tiny plane, so you feel absolutely everything. Oh, okay.
I don't want to do anything ever again. I don't want to do anything ever again. I don't want to do any more things. I've done enough. I don't want to do anything again.
Oh God, this isn't good. I don't like this myself. That's too wobbly. That's too wobbly. Too wobbly to land. What's going on? What's going on here? What's that buzzing noise? What's that noise? What's going on? Very good.
That's the risk of flying private.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very funny.
That was good. He said, no, I'm never doing anything again. I'm never flying again. I'm never doing anything
It's
again.
when you said you're scared and you think I'm going to die, but then you get angry